Hello, welcome back. We are doing a different kind of a video today. As it is the month of Ramadan, we are fasting, and a lot of people have been asking us what kind of foods we should be eating, and also things to do with exercise, whether they should be exercising, and if they are, what times of the day they should be exercising. We are training throughout Ramadan, and it is the first year of us doing it, so we've done a lot of research into how we should be training, when we should be training, what kind of training we should be doing, to make it safe, because you're not eating for a long period of time. You have no food in your body at all. So
it's only been 2 days, but we've been really enjoying it. We've been perfectly fine to train. This video is going to be split into 2 different parts. So the first part is going to be about food, what kind of foods to be eating, what kind of foods to be kind of avoiding, and the second part is going to be on the training, so weight training and cardio mainly, that we're going to be looking at. So like I said, we'll start off with the first part. For those who don't know, Ramadan is where you fast for a month. You don't eat or drink from before sunrise, and you break your fast after sunset.
And I know we had a lot of things about this when we were younger. You do eat in the month. It's not a whole month of not eating anything at all.
Yeah.
So
a lot of people in school used to think you just went a month without eating,
which you don't.
But it's obviously not the case. So like we said, we'll start off with the first part, which is food, and we're going to start off with sooo, so that is breakfast.
Before sunrise, so it's like at 2 a.m?
2 a.m, yeah. For this part, it is so important to be eating foods that are going to keep you fuller for longer. They are full of nutrients and stuff that's actually going to keep you going through the day, and there's loads of different types of foods that you can be eating. The first thing that you want to definitely be doing is eating foods that are really high in protein. So for those, they're going to be oats, eggs, peanut butter on toast with bananas and chia seeds. That's what we eat.
So nice.
And it keeps you really full, and the reason why you're going to want to be doing that is it keeps you fuller for longer. It's got really high energy, it's got the nutrients and everything that you need within those foods to be able to keep you going for a much longer period of time. And they help to rebuild and recover your muscles as well, so equally as important if you are training in Ramadan.
Along with protein, you're going to want to eat foods that are high in fibre too. So these are your oats, your brown breads, your cereals, not the sugary stuff, the proper cereals.
Bran flakes, for example.
Yeah, that aren't high in sugar, because they will also keep you fuller for longer. The things that your body needs, and it gives your body the right nutrients and keeps things flowing. If you get, you don't need to do this. If you catch my drift.
The third thing you want to definitely eat in quite high amounts is calcium. So you're going to be getting them in your dairy products, for example milk, cheese, yogurts, etc. And they're really good for your muscles and helps to keep your bones strong, and you don't want to be losing any bone mass while fasting, because you're not going to be eating obviously through the day.
You keep yourself hydrated in the times that you can eat and drink. So that's not just through water, but water is obviously the best way to do it. You can do it in foods that are high in water, so you've got watermelon, strawberries, lettuce, things like that that you can just incorporate into your meals.
Any vegetables really as well.
Yeah, anything that's got a high amount of water in, because you'll be getting fuller by eating them, but also hydrating your body because of the water that's in them.
Yeah, and also it feels like you can eat quite high volumes of them, so
yeah,
it'll be keeping you substantial,
full and hydrated.
So the kind of things that you want to be avoiding are your simple / refined carbs. So that kind of thing is going to include white flour, so white bread, which isn't too great for you anyway, cereals that are really high in sugar, or sugary things like pastries, etc., because they're going to, like Nadia said before, spike your blood sugar levels and your energy levels, and you're going to dip quite quickly after them, and you're not getting the nutrients that your body actually needs while you are fasting.
Because you've got to remember, you're not eating for a long period of time, so fill your body with nice
Be nice to it.
Stay away from salty foods too, so that can be nuts and things that are coated in salt, or just putting a lot of salt in your foods, because it obviously dehydrates you, and you want to be staying hydrated while you're fasting.
Cover your ears if you don't want to hear about coffee, but try and reduce the amount of coffee that you are drinking, and the caffeinated drinks and the white monsters that people want to craze for, just because they are dehydrating to start off with. They'll give you major headaches within Ramadan when you are fasting, and they don't provide your body with the things that it needs, and the water and the hydration that it needs, because it completely counteracts it.
So now we're going to be moving on to the foods that you should be eating at iftar, so when you're breaking your fast at sunset.
So you're going to be wanting loads of veggies and fruit. They are a really, really high source of fibre, which, like we said before, you need it for like your digestion. They are really hydrating, and you can have a massive volume of them, so you can have them in bulk, and it's low calories if you are tracking calories or anything like that. And make the main bulk of your iftar vegetables, just because, like I said, you can have like a massive high volume of them, you're getting all the nutrients and everything that you need within them. And also incorporate fruits into your iftar meal as well, just because they're really high in natural sugars that are a really good source of energy and keep you going.
You'll need it. So obviously, like we said in the suhoor part, you need to be getting a lot of protein in your diet at iftar too, especially if you're training, because you'll need it for muscle repair and muscle growth. So make sure you're getting a lot of that in. So make sure your veg is the main thing, and then you've got a little protein in there too. And that will obviously come from like your meats, your chicken, fish.
You can get them from loads of like non-meat sources as well. So for example, lentils. You can get obviously protein from different types of vegetables, so broccoli, mushrooms, that kind of stuff. So just be wise with the kind of things that you're eating. They're all loved fried food. You can eat it. Have it in moderation. Nobody's saying don't eat them. Eat one or two. Don't be having so many in abundance where you're having the entire plate. Like we said before, they're completely high in salt and saturated fats, which aren't very good for you.
Deep fried, most of them.
And yeah, most of them are deep fried. Yeah, they taste good, so have like a couple of them, but
moderation.
Have them in moderation, not be having like the full plate.
And again, make sure you keep yourself hydrated.
With your meal, I would recommend having a glass of water before it, because it's getting into your stomach, and it's gonna, the first thing that you're gonna be doing is hydrating your body, and then you can carry on having it throughout the night. Things to avoid are kind of like the caffeinated drinks, the fizzy drinks that a lot of people have. Like we said before, they're going to spike your energy levels and bring you back down. They are going to dehydrate you in many ways that you can think, and they don't set you up for the next day to be having like a good balance of foods and nutrients and whatnot. And try to be avoiding like quite high sugary stuff. So they obviously are your sweets and chocolates and whatnot, but a lot of people don't realise how much sugar are in like jars of like pasta sauces, and low fat yogurts are usually replaced with sugar. So just get the high fat ones, and you're getting all the nutrients and the less amount of sugar that you are getting as well.
Make sure most of your sugars are coming from natural sources, so a lot of it will come from fruits and things like that, because your body does need it, but it doesn't need the refined stuff.
Fantastic.
Exercise. Like I said before, we've had so many different questions about training in Ramadan, whether you should do it, when you should do it, and if we are training in Ramadan. And there's 3 different ways that you can look at training. So you can train just before you open your fast, you can train just after you've opened your fast, or you can train anytime throughout the day. The one that's least recommended is for you to train anytime during the day before you fast, so in the morning time or like hours before your fast breaks, just because you're not going to be able to fuel your body before, and you're not going to be able to fuel your body afterwards because of the time. So that would be least recommended. But if you are to train in that time, make sure you bring the intensity right down. Do absolutely no cardio whatsoever, and so it will be weight training. And the weight training that you will be doing, you'll have to reduce the load quite a lot and reduce your reps quite a lot. And you might want to look at reducing the time that you work out, and increase the amount of time between sets, so increase your rest periods. Don't burn yourself out. Listen to what your body says, and if you feel like you do need to stop after 20 minutes, then make sure you stop, because it's not worth it. That's the one that's least recommended, but if you do it.
The one that I find to be the most favourable through research and looking at different articles and whatnot is training after you have eaten. So that would usually be around an hour, half an hour to an hour after you've eaten, but you're supposed to be eating a small amount of like high sugar food, so not refined stuff, but like fruits, smoothies, protein shakes, that kind of stuff that are quite high in sugar to give you that energy. I can see why that is the most favourable, because you've eaten a small amount before, and you're going to be fueling your body pretty much straight after by having like your proper iftari meal. So, and if you are training after you have opened your fast, I'd say you can kind of keep it the way that you generally would, because you've fueled your body, you've got you're hydrating it, so I don't see any reason why you shouldn't be training the way you would be. I wouldn't probably go as hard as you normally would do, but I wouldn't say you need to modify it in too many different ways. The last way is training just before you open your fast, and that's the way we train. We have been doing it for a couple of days and it's worked out like pretty fine for us. Like, we've not seen any problems with it or anything like that. We train about an hour and a half before we open our fast, and I think it's a really good time to be doing it at that point, just because you haven't got too long to wait to fuel your body, and like, you'll be preparing your food anyway, so you won't even be thinking about how hungry you are. There's a lot of research to suggest that it isn't the best way to be doing it, because you've gone the whole day of not eating and then training, but there's many reasons why people can't train after iftari. For example, like, our gym isn't open after 10, so it's kind of impossible to do that. And second of all, it's way past my bedtime and I won't ever be able to eat anything small and then go to the gym. I'll be having it in like one shot. So if you are training the way we train, there's quite a few little adaptations I say you probably should be making. The general view is to reduce the volume and your intensity of your workout at the beginning, so let your body adapt to training while you are not fueled. And we have been reducing our weights, so not been doing as high weights as what we generally would do, but keeping similar amounts of reps, between 8 to 12 reps.
We generally do around 10 reps.
Yeah, somewhere close to that, wherever you feel like comfortable in doing it. But what you might need to do is increase your rest periods. Don't be increasing your rest periods like drastically, because you want to be still getting quite a little bit of an intense workout. So just choose whichever way you find to be comfortable and works for you. So there are like the three main ways that you can look at training, and like we said, we're going to be sticking to training like an hour and a half before we open our fast. So we're moving on to cardio now. There's so many different views on what people think about you should be doing cardio, you shouldn't be doing cardio, you should be doing this, you should be doing that.
I would say steer away from it.
Personally, I would say it too. If you really love cardio and that's your way of training, keep it low intensity. Do maybe incline walks instead of jogging. Do lower intensity on the bike, on the cross trainer. But I would personally say stay well away from HIIT workouts and circuit training.
They're going to make you too sweaty. Their intensity is too high, and seeing as you've got no hydration, they are meant to make you sweat. So sweating when you haven't hydrated yourself, I'm just not sure how it would do. All in all, I would just say make sure you listen to your body, start off low, and if you do feel like you can start increasing the intensity, do it as time goes on. I wouldn't go full whack into it. Listen to your body, and if you do feel like you need to stop training and the sessions are smaller than what they generally are, then just go with it. It is what it is. It's your body's way of telling you.
So we hope you enjoyed the video and it's been somewhat useful. I know since we've been researching, we've learned so much more about training and how it's not the myth that it used to be, where you should definitely not train while you're fasting. Do it the way you feel comfortable, and we hope you enjoyed it.
Please give our video a like and also subscribe to our channel if you have been enjoying the video. Share with your friends and your pals too
if you've been enjoying them. And we'll be back next Sunday with another form of video. So
thanks.